Hello there, Shortcuts. This is Stephen here for video 2, the genre list, Shortcuts records. This list will go, the price list will go out 9 p.m. this Wednesday, January 29th, Sydney time, 9 p.m. Sydney time. If you would like to be on the price list, drop me an email, shortcutsrecordsaus@gmail.com. So as I mentioned, this is the genre list, and this list today is jazz, some hip-hop soul, some funk, the usual, but I'm going to kick off with something pretty special. As I said, if you would like to be on the price list, shortcutsrecordsaus@gmail.com. Firstly, I'm going to make a big announcement. I have my first record fair coming up. I'm organising a record fair in Manly, Sydney. The Manly Record Fair, the first record fair on the Northern Beaches since 2019, as far as I can see. It's on March 16th at the Hotel Stay-In, which is on the Manly beachfront in Corso. We have a beautiful area there. Lots of people coming, great records, great vibe, amazing space. I'm going to be giving away prizes and all sorts. More to come. I'll send you all the marketing and all the details in a few days, but I'm very excited about that. Okay. All right. What's the kickoff record here? Well, this list, the kickoff record was really easy, but I need to explain why. In 2024, I ended up going down the most amazing rabbit hole. I discovered through this record a label called Three Blind Mice. Now, Three Blind Mice is a Japanese label, Japanese jazz label. It started in 1970 by a man called, let me get the name for you, I had it here, Takeshi Fuji. And his engineer and producer in this kind of, I guess, the key period of Japanese jazz in the 70s was a guy called Yoshihiko Kanari. And between the two of them, they focused on Japanese artists, up-and-coming artists, often artists who'd never released anything before, with this really distinctive art styling, but most importantly, the most fastidious focus on audiophile sound quality. Think of them as the Japanese Blue Note, but with an insane focus on sound quality. So, for example, on this record here, Midnight Sugar, which has quickly become in my top few favorite albums of all time, there's a booklet. This is the Japanese first press. And in the booklet is the layout of the band, but also a description of where all the microphones are. It's pretty incredible. The opening track of Midnight Sugar is the most exquisite double bass and piano. It's incredible. So I've been collecting. So that's Midnight Sugar. Then the follow-up to Midnight Sugar, actually no, that's not quite true. Probably the most famous, maybe with the record I've chosen, Blow Up, by the Isao Suzuki trio / quartet, depending on who's playing. You can see this incredible art again. It's kind of really reminiscent of almost, you can see this one's got kind of but there's kind of like a King Kong thing going on in the image. Produced by Takeshi Fuji. Recording engineer Yoshihiko Kanari, as I mentioned. In this case, piano, bass, cello, drums, and double bass. But look at the label as well, the Three Blind Mice label. Now, anytime I see that label, I just get so excited. So excited. So there's that. And then the follow-up, Blue City, which is not quite as famous, but still spectacular. Then my most recent Three Blind Mice purchase is this. What a sleeve this is. Coco's Blues by Suneo Wada Quartet and Sextet. And that's because in certain songs there are an alto and tenor sax and sometimes only one. But this one has guitar jazz as well. Suneo Wada plays guitar. The amazing Takahiro Honda on piano. Kenjo Shigi on flugelhorn. Kenji Mori on alto sax. Again, this record is absolutely, it's just spectacular. And there's the booklet for it. Now, let's get to what I've selected for this list, because maybe initially, at least, the most enjoyable of all of my Three Blind Mice records was this. Misty by the Yamamoto Toyoshi Trio. And you can see here that this is the copy I have for sale. Now, this is a 70s copy. It's not the first press because they're eye-wateringly expensive. And don't let me fool, this is expensive too. But this is Misty, Toyoshi Yamamoto Trio. Probably the place to start. This has got fantastic vinyl and the Three Blind Mice label. Now, why is this the place to start? It is so beautiful and accessible. My wife loves this record and she hates music. She forgive me for saying that, but she does. When I put this on a Sunday afternoon, she's like, "Oh, this is nice." It is exquisite. The sound quality, because they focused on microphone placement and the sound in the room, the piano just sounds like it's right in front of you. You can hear the bass strings vibrating. The sound quality is impeccable. It also will, whoever buys this record, will hit into a tin can once and for all this argument that you need 180 gram vinyl for it to sound spectacular. That is marketing. It is gibberish. It is not true. These Japanese records from the 70s just prove it. The sound quality is staggering. Honestly, it's incredible. When someone wants to hear true dynamics of vinyl, I put on the opening track to Midnight Sugar, or the opening track to Misty. It is so beautiful. Yamamoto is technically brilliant, but it's the ballad, the blues-based ballads. They are so beautiful. I cannot tell you. Now, the thing is, you can't get this on Spotify. I can't point you to the place to go and explore Three Blind Mice. There are a few songs out there. I think the title track, Midnight Sugar, is on there. You can hear the style of this. Part of what I think makes these records so special is the absolute insistence that the live take had to be recorded. There was Takeshi Fuji's insistence that you had to play, so there are no overdubs. You can hear the musicians talking to each other on occasion. I love these albums. I got two here. I've got Bingo Mickey, Three Blind Mice, and I've got Misty, Three Blind Mice. Both sound incredible. This one's kind of a bigger band. This one's a trio. Just get into it. Honestly, they're just the most beautiful records. The Bingo Mickey is kind of more, you hear a little bit more, excuse me, Japanese influence. You hear a little bit, excuse me, Japanese melodies kind of sneaking in on songs like A Sea Breeze and Sailing Bright Eternity in particular. It's a rare gem. Anything with Three Blind Mice is just worth having. It's just brilliant. I love them. First presses are incredibly expensive, but I've succumbed now and then. But that Misty record, that Bingo Mickey record, they're wonderful. So how do you follow that? Well, I can only follow that with what I think is a masterclass in soul jazz, and that's the Ben Webster Trio's Soulville on the Verve label. I've been obsessed with this record ever since Olga, and you know who you are, introduced me to it. Where Are You, Making Whoopee, Oscar Peterson on piano, Ben Webster on sax. It's just so beautiful. I think this might even be the mono. It is, because the mono press of this is the one to have. Just fantastic, beautiful record. If you haven't heard it, give it a listen. The liner notes by Norman Granz are really, really beautiful as well. It feels like you're in a late night club and you've just wandered down. It's got to be an underground bar, probably in Chicago. It's really, 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 really good. Really good. All right, now for something a lot more modern. This is an album that took me a really long time to get, and I'm even now not sure I do. There are those who will tell you that this is the best album ever made, and I've read some of the reviews that say that, and I think I'm starting to understand why. Not that I have it, but I'm starting to. Clearly, the use of kind of vintage analog equipment is part of what gives this album its feel. I am talking about Voodoo by D'Angelo. Now, this is a Vinyl Me Please exclusive, long sold out. These things are now gold dust. It's very hard to see. You can probably see it there that it's number 720 of 1500. Still sealed. All songs produced by D'Angelo himself, although a couple of songs co-produced by Raphael Sadiq, who I'm a big fan of as well. So why is this album so great? I think it's the texture. It's really groovy. His voice veers from kind of this kind of high chest falsetto to something that's a little bit deeper and mellow. It is probably the greatest, melange of funk, soul, jazz in one record. Clearly one of the landmark records of the 2000s. And sonically on vinyl, it's a very interesting experience because a lot of the records at that time were long to fill out, 72 minutes of a CD. But this record, I think, justifies the length. It's very lugubrious. The vinyl pressings from the time are extraordinarily expensive because so few were made. But this repress, and particularly this Vinyl Me Please version, is a really, really, really lovely listen. It feels 70s soul, but it's not. You can hear the modernization that's happened. And I find a lot of neo soul it doesn't move me at all. Like, I struggle with Erykah Badu. I a lot of these overly intricate and kind of meandering songs just don't do it for me. But I think this one has something. I don't get it. I'm happy for someone in the comments to tell me more about why this record's so special, because I struggle. but I get the vibe. I get the vibe. And again, these sealed Round Me Please copies are gold dust. So there'll be somebody, I think, that will fall in love with that, I suspect. All right, now a few more to go. I've been raving about Japanese Miles Davis for a while. How about this? Miles Davis Greatest Hits. So this is Round Midnight, Milestones, Walk at ESP, So What, and My Funny Valentine. That is as good a list as you could ever hope to get. And look at these pictures on the inside on the paper. Look at that. Just beautiful. I think that's one of the best photos of Miles I have ever seen. It's just great. The Japanese nail this type of stuff. Lovely sounding record too. Really impressed with it. Look at this. Yeah, picking tracks from his greatest quintet and a little bit of a more modern side as well with ESP. The wonderful Miles Davis Greatest Hits. I don't know if this got a broader release or whether it was just Japan, but you can see it's on the original orange and white labels of CBS Sony. Okay, what else do we have here? You all know how much I love Tina Turner. And I know it's questionable, of course, questionable how, Ike treated her. But I love how she came through it and became what she became, because she's incredible. And this is a wonderful live record. This is the original double LP of Ike and Tina live at Carnegie Hall. What you hear is what you get. And I think that says everything about Tina. The standout on this album, actually there's two. The live version of Proud Mary on here is incendiary in the best possible way. But it might be just trumped by I Want to Take You Higher. Her singing on that song is almost otherworldly. And, Ike's pretty talented in terms of arrangements, and you can hear that as well. Really, really, really nice. So I think this is the Aussie first press. The vinyl's lovely. You like 70s soul R&B. It's pretty great. Okay, I've got a couple of soul and jazz classics to come. One of my favorites, and a little bit hidden on the Riverside label, this is Bobby Timmons. Bobby Timmons played with Miles Davis. In this particular record, he's with Sam Jones on bass and Roy McGurdy on drums. So this is, I guess, soulful piano jazz again. Lovely. On the Riverside label, again, beautiful Japanese repress. Very, very pleasant sounds indeed. All right. Couple of soul classics, and then I'm going to finish off with Nina Simone. So I have Wilson Pickett's The Midnight Mover on the original Atlantic Blue and Green. This is the Japanese first press from 1968. The title track of this, The Midnight Mover, is a song that he wrote with Bobby Womack, and that's kind of two of the greatest soul singer-songwriters coming together, and it lives up to the hype. It's pretty great. It's a very deep, rich, kind of full, ballsy sound. I really like the sleeve as well. That kind of southern soul with the horns, the kind of sweaty sound. It's kind of probably as good as this kind of stuff gets. Part of this was recorded at the Muscle Shoals studio, which again, I guess kind of influenced a lot of the sound. And then a little bit earlier, but also very influential, is Warm and Tender Soul by Percy Sledge. Not so much of a gritty soul singer like Wilson Pickett, more high and pure. You're Pouring Water on a Drowning Man, I think, is the highlight. I also really like the organ playing by Spooner Oldham, who's one of the genius players from that time. And I've got some people coming in, so I'm going to have to finish up super quick. And finally, I have a really nice early, I think it's unlisted on Discogs, early press of Nina Simone and piano, as it says on the back. This is pure Nina. Really, really lovely press. If you don't know Nina and piano, these are all one take solo performances with piano. Beautiful record and a nice way to end the genre list. If you would like to be in the price list, drop me an email, shortcutsrecords@gmail.com. The price list will go out at 9 p.m. on the 29th, this Wednesday, Sydney time. If you do dig into Three Blind Mice, please leave a comment or email me and let me know what you think. And like, comment, all that kind of business. And I will talk to you all soon. Bye.